Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Anita, and I'm coming at you today with a review of my currently inked pens for the month of July. Let's get into it. All right. Y'all, it's Struggle Bus Thursday. Can I just say that? It is live from Georgia. Well, anyway, I'm just filming it. And it's Struggle Bus Thursday. I hate it when I'm trying to be organized and tidy up and I put things in places that really don't make sense to my brain and then I can't find them later. So yeah, just getting the candle lit because it's kind of dark now, even though the sun was shining bright like literally 10 minutes ago, and now it looks like it's going to start pouring. But it's okay, that's what it does in Georgia. Okay. It has been an interesting month. Can I just say that? I'm looking forward to August because I have new pens that I want to try out and I have new inks that I want to try out. And I don't know, it's almost like July was a placeholder. I did use a couple of new pens. Actually, I'm looking and I see 3. 1, 2, whoops, 4. 3, 4. 4 new pens, but apparently that's not good enough. I don't know. I have just been like, I don't know. I have tamped down my pace of purchasing. I'm thinking more about what I want. I'm like, do I really want it? If I can put it in a cart or something like that and then forget about it, do I really want it that bad? You know? So anyway, I don't know. July almost feels like it was a placeholder. I don't know. I wasn't fully into this month. I was busy. Anyway, let's go. Let's get started after all of that. Oh, I'm going to try and be organized, even though I feel super scattered right now. I think I can fake it. Let's move the candle over. It's so dark. Yeah, the candle is a mood right now. All right, first pen. Do y'all see the new pen case? This is just the tray out of the case. I love this. This holds 12 pens, and I picked it up on Amazon during the Prime Day sales. Prime Days, it's plural. It's like 4 days. I'm like, really? That's like, I don't know, Christmas shopping starts on Thanksgiving now. It's like, come on, y'all. Anyway, this is my Esterbrook Estie in Punch. This pen has a medium steel nib, and the ink I put in it this month is Sailor Ink Studio number 173. I got this ink in a holiday swap on the Atlas Discord server, and I love the color. The swatch is pretty. It's really pretty, but it was a bit of a dry writer for me, a little drier than I would like. And I don't normally have a dry experience with this pen. You can see in the writing sample that the Estie performed what I will call as expected. The comfort level is really good for me in this pen. The ink flow was fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't amazing. It was just a bit of a dry writer. And it could be the color, because I noticed a theme with my dry pens. So y'all let me know in the comments, please, if you know that lighter colors tend to be on the drier side. Because I usually lean toward the teals and the turquoises and the purples, and I had more light colors, and the light ones just felt dry. Yes, this pen has a medium nib. I do believe I said that. And while it wrote fine, it just felt a little dry from my personal preference. And I was not really a fan of that. But there was no problem with evaporation. There was no problem with the flow. It just felt a little dry, and I don't know. It's not a good time for me. I'll say it that way. All right, now let's get organized again, because I have forgotten to set up the rating side of the page. Let's look back. Comfort, flow, and the visual appeal. Okay. How am I gonna do this? Across the top, I guess. Comfort, flow, and then the visual. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll rate it and then I'll write a little, a couple of sentences about how it was. That's what I'll do. I will find my flow with this eventually. We'll see if this is it. Okay, the comfort of the Estie for me, I would say, is about a 9. It's very comfortable. I like the size of the grip section, the length of the pen, the weight. I wish it were a little heavier. It would rate better for me if it were a little weightier, but I have other pens to fulfill that need. But it's really good in terms of comfort. The flow of the ink was good. There was no problem with the flow. I'll give the flow though, and I'll give it a 7.5 because I don't know if it should have been flowing better or not. I just know how it was in here. And while I didn't dislike it, I didn't love it. And the visual pairing, I think I'm kind of tepid on that too. I'll give that a 7. So the ink flow was good enough, but it was a dry writer. That's my main complaint. Visually, meh. And when I see the ink and think of the pen, I will know exactly what that means. I really do have a strong preference for an ink that matches a pen. I really do. And that's okay. That's what I like. All right, next pen is the Lorelei 667. I believe the color is called Green Acrylic. Something very generic and bland, but it's very pretty. As you can see, that's kind of a gradient situation with about 3 colors. This pen has a fine steel nib. I picked this up my first year of, oh God, impulsively collecting pens. And it's currently inked with Diamine Sepia. This too was a little drier than I would have liked. And I'm not sure if it's the ink, if it's the pen itself, maybe the feed, maybe the tines, maybe I don't know. It was just a little dry. And I've used sepia in other pens and didn't necessarily have that experience. I'd have to look back, but I don't remember it being as dry as it felt in this pen. And it could be also because this is a fine nib, and I know before I've used it almost certainly in medium nib pens. So the comfort of this pen, it's a little narrow for me. I would say the comfort is about a 7.5. Oops, 7.5. Yeah, a little bit of a hard start there. The flow was good though. The flow, I will give the flow an 8.5. Even though I'm not writing very well here, that's me, not the pen. And the visual pairing, I like. I give this, visually, I'll give this a 9. Because I do like the way it looks. But it just felt a little dry in writing. And that's really the main thing I didn't enjoy. So, I don't know. I am going to write this dry. And I will be paying attention. I'm going to put it with the dedicated pens as opposed to the random ones. Don't laugh at me and my categorizations, please. And I'll see how I feel about it and make a note of it, because it could just be how sporadically I use the pen, and maybe if I wrote with it more, I would have had a different experience. I don't know. But it wasn't the most comfortable, and I think that's why I really didn't reach for it as much. Next pen is the Kaweco Student, in 1920s Jazz Brown. I absolutely love this combination. I have wanted this pen for literally 2 years, and I finally got it, and I love it. It has a fine nib, and it is currently inked with J Herbin Brun Eiffel. I love this pen. Oh, just visually, this pen makes me happy. And I may get one more because I love it that much. But honestly, I don't feel as passionately about any other color as I do about the brown. So if I get another one, I don't know when it's going to happen, and I don't know what color it's going to be, because this was the one I really loved. And I'm so happy to have it. So the comfort of this pen, I like the metal grip. I have to just say that first. I like metal grips, especially, I don't know what it is. I think it's the coolness of them. It's a little bit narrow. So I think if it were plastic or acrylic, to be specific, like this pen, I wouldn't have felt as good about it as I do. It's raining, okay. The weather said it's gonna rain at 8 p.m. and it's currently 4:01, so they're just a little bit off, but that happens. Okay, so the comfort of this pen, I would give it an 8, because the metal grip, I really love. It somewhat mitigates the size of it. I don't mind that. The flow of ink in the pen, I'll give it an 8.5 also. And the visual, I'll give a 9. This also was a little bit dry. Now, I don't know if it's a Kaweco thing, if it's ink, if it's the pen specific thing. I don't know. But it felt a bit dry. This felt a bit dry. I'll write it dry and pay attention to the experience. I don't know. I'm not sure. This one also, even though I love the pen and love the way it looks, I love how it feels in the hand with that nice cool grip section, but I'm not sure if it's just a Kaweco thing, if it was a combination, I don't know, but it felt a little dry. And again, I didn't write with this one as often as I did some of my other pens. So I'm gonna write it dry, and I'm going to pay attention to how it feels while I'm using it. And I've got a cartridge in here, okay. There's still a lot of ink in there. So yeah, I'm writing this dry. We're going to have good times together. We'll see how it goes. Next up is the TWSBI Eco in Amazonite. Is that how you say it? I feel so silly when I really don't know. This pen has a medium nib, steel nib. I love it, TWSBI. I love demonstrators. And this pen is currently inked with a collab ink with Robert Oster and Yoseka Stationery called Confetti Blue. I loved this combination. The color is totally my jam. Totally my jam. It's the only color I had like this month, and I loved it. Typical TWSBI experience for me. It was lovely. And I did not fill it up with ink because I got the ink in a swap, and I don't want to put all that experience into just the one TWSBI. I am also going to try the ink in some other pen. I still have some left, but this was really good. I will say the comfort was a typical TWSBI comfort of about an 8. The flow was really good. I will give that a 9. And visually, oh my gosh, I loved it. This was a 10. Look at the color. And this is not a solid color, it's a mixture. And the ink really matches the darker bits of the green in the pen, and I loved writing with it. I love this so much. It was a good time. Good flow of ink, visually appealing, wet enough because I like when it's in a wet writer. This was just wonderful. I loved it, and I will write this dry because that's just what I prefer to do. Next pen is the Asvine P20 in in the colorway Ocean Blue. This pen has a medium nib and is currently inked with Anderillium Banded King Shoemaker Butterfly Blue. Now, I have to issue a disclaimer. Every time I pick up this pen, I realize I may have an issue with the tines. I need to take out the loop and take a look and see if they're a little off or something, because every so often I get a little bit of skipping. And not so much to be annoying, but enough that it's like, oh yeah, this one skips a little bit. And it's done it with every ink I've put in the pen, so clearly it's the pen, in my opinion, anyway. I am no expert. Let's fix the light. The sun is back. But I love the pen, which is why I keep pulling it out. I have used, of the Asvine P20s that I own, Asvine, oh goodness, Anita, here you go again. This is the one I use the most because I just love the blue. It's a very pretty blue and some turquoise and a little teal. I love this one. So the comfort of this pen is about a 9. It's very comfortable for me. The flow of ink in this pen was good. No issues at 9 as well. And visually, I give this a 9 too. See, it just did it. I don't know why. I loved
this combo. Come on, Anita. I need to troubleshoot why the pen skips. With every ink, see, did it again.
So yes, I love it, but it skips. I don't know why. And I need to figure that out so I can have a really good time instead of just a good time. This is going quickly. Only 7 pens. Yeah, I've got so many inked pens, y'all. That's a whole video in and of itself. Next is the Jinhao 10. It's becoming quite the thing these days. This pen has a fine nib. It is in the color pink with rose gold trim and is currently inked with Birmingham Pen Co., Pennsylvania Fieldstone. I love this combination. When I got the pen, I did with it as I have done almost since the very beginning. I applied a little bit of silicone grease to the opening where the nib comes out. A little bit of this with my little paintbrush, and it definitely has helped to mitigate the drying out problem that these pens have become known for. It's a real thing. I do still experience some drying, but I would say that it's not any more than any other pen that I experience drying with, where for example, like I love Leonardo's, but they dry out some. And when you start writing, you'll see that your ink that was in the feet of the pen has gotten a little darker because of the evaporation. And as you write, it just levels out to the correct color. Same thing with this one. But since I used it so often, the problem wasn't so bad where it was so obvious. And you could see that in the writing sample. When I wrote this sample, it was a little darker at the beginning, but it wasn't terrible. And I think that's because I just love the convenience of a clicky fountain pen. I am literally obsessed with it. And I know it's because of the appearance, because I have another clicky pen. I wanted to try this out before I committed the money to a Pilot vanishing point. So I picked up a Majan A1, and I love this too. But while I do like the way this pen looks, I like this more. And there are so many options. So many Jinhao options. Oh my goodness, there's so many. So anyway, so I put up with the drying and I try to minimize the experience with that. I don't really have a problem with hard starts. No, I have not had a problem with hard starting. My main problem is a bit of evaporation. And as I said, the silicone grease around the end of the nib has taken care of that. So I would say my experience with this pen has been pretty good. The comfort, I'll give the comfort an 8.5. I think it's kind of novel to have the clip here. And while it doesn't really get in the way, it affects my comfort. It would be more comfortable if it didn't have a clip there, because I don't mind the size of the pen down here where you hold it to write. But the clip, I'm very conscious of it, which if it didn't bother me at all, I wouldn't notice it. So for that reason, I give my comfort an 8.5. The flow of ink in here was good. It was very good. I'll give that a 9. And visually, I will give this pairing a 10, because when I saw the pen, I knew that I wanted to put in it Pennsylvania Fieldstone, because there's pink in there and it's just so pretty with the pen. Look at that. So yeah, I love that. So this was all good. And I had some of the usual Jinhao drying experience. I'll call it evaporation. And I had to re-ink the pen because I wrote it dry, and I should make a note of that. It doesn't hold a huge amount of ink, but I wrote it dry, and this is the only pen I wrote dry this month. So that was cool. But I totally enjoyed writing with this pen. Totally enjoyed it. Yeah, it's really, I don't know, it's getting out of hand a little bit. But I don't feel guilty about it because it doesn't cost like a pile of vanishing point. It costs like a Jinhao, and it's so much cheaper. So yeah, I indulge my impulses a little bit. I'm not afraid to admit it. Last pen is the Diplomat Viper in brown. I love the copper trim on this pen. It's so pretty. I wish, go away Siri. I wish it had extended to the nib and over here where you cap it, but you know what? You can't always get what you want. I love the way it caps though. I love the magnetic capping. Oh. This is only my second Diplomat pen, and I love both of these. I love the arrow a little bit more, I can't lie. It has, well, it's a different style. This has a hooded nib, the arrow has just a big nib, and they're different pens, but I love both of them. Anyway, this pen has a fine/medium nib and is currently inked with J Herbin Lie. And this was an experience. When I first unboxed the pen and inked it up, I had some problems with the pen hard starting or skipping or both. I cannot remember exactly. I'll link the video if that's something you want to take a look at. But what I did, I found out about this little tip from from Doodlebud's YouTube channel. I got one of these thickness gauges, and if I have a pen that has tight tines where it's affecting ink flow, and it doesn't come up too often at all, I use this and I find the narrowest, there's ink on there, the narrowest one to get in there comfortably, and then I go up one from there. So if I want to be a little tighter, I want some resistance, so I can just loosen up the tines a bit. And I did that with this pen, and the ink flow has been better. I put this in between the tines and I just let it sit on the desk, and I, honest to God, I forgot about it because I was doing other things. But it doesn't like splay them or anything like that. It just spreads them out a bit, loosens up some of the tension, and that totally helped. And I would say that the skipping that I was experiencing, hard starting, was not a thing anymore. I had no issues with the writing. I used the pen not very frequently because honestly, this was so convenient. But I had to spread the love, and I used it just not as often as the Jinhao. The Jinhao got the most action, but there was not a skipping problem. Very minimal skipping, put it that way. So I am going to write this dry, and yeah, it's still got plenty of ink in here. All my pens have about the same amount of ink except the Jinhao 10 because I was using that the most. It was so good. It was so good. Oh, let's rate the Diplomat Viper. Vapor. Come on, girl. Okay, let me move this. I got a lot of ink on the desk. I got a lot going on the desk. Okay. Comfort of this pen, I'll give it an 8. It could be a little wider. A little wider would be more comfortable. The flow of ink in the pen was good. I will give that an 8.5. 8.5, that was me not bearing down enough. And the visual, oh, I love this pen. Visual, I'll give it a 9.5. That was the pen that time. And this all was well, except the skipping. And I just did it again. Well, troubleshoot. Before cleaning. So yes, this pen, when I wrote well, the ink flow is good. It's just that skipping thing. So I'm going to give it another go. With the tines, I will see if I can find any other information where I'm not going to do anything to damage my pen, intentionally, of course, but I'll see if I can find any other things I could try to help with the flow issue, because it's inconsistent. It's not like I write so many words and then it suddenly skips. I could go on for several lines and then suddenly it'll skip. So I don't know. It could just be the tines. I think I should start a cup with pens that need to go to a Nibmeister. I don't know. And then just deal with those, because I'm only going to like finagle the pens to a point. I'm not going to do it to the point of like damage. I'm just not wired for that. I don't care if I paid, you know, $20 or if I paid $200. I'm not going to damage something intentionally. No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think I should start a cup of pens that need to be professionally tuned. I think that's what we'll call it. I don't have too many of those, thankfully. But anyway, this Diplomat Viper may definitely be a contender for that. So that is it for this month's pens. I'm filming this on July 31st, and this video will be up on August 1st. And the next thing I'm going to do is figure out what pens and inks I am going to be using for August, because I want some bold and bright colors. I don't know what bold and bright colors, but I want it bold and bright because it's the last full month of summer and I love bold and bright. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.